Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
Bob Bailey, Virginia-Gregg, in an episode of the West Coast program Let George Do It. This episode, originally broadcast November 6, 1950, a visit from Merlin.
Personal notice, stranger's my stock and trade. If the job's too tough for you to handle, you got a job for me, George Valentine. Write full details.
Greetings, mystery lover. Time for another Let George Do It adventure. This one carries the alluring title of A Visit from Merlin. You all remember little old Merlin, but just in case you don't, he was the lad who dealt in that old black magic back in King Arthur's day. Now, history doesn't state whether or not this fellow was known as the Square of the Round Table, but boy, he must have had something on the ball, because you should hear what he has up his sleeve for George Valentine.
My dear Mr. Valentine, perhaps you have heard my name, Arthur Thurston Renwick, or just the Renwick collection of medieval art. I don't like violence or violent people, so you can imagine my shock at the following episode. A stranger, Mr. Valentine, and I am habitually kind to strangers, ventured into my somewhat unusual domain, Renwick Manor. A little man in a tattered coat. Due to certain circumstances, I was in the position of feeling it necessary to give him a small gift. But before I could complete this friendly gesture, the man halted me. He gave me a gift. It was a 10th century dagger, Mr. Valentine, stolen from my own precious collection. The dagger was covered with blood.
My husband isn't here, Mr. Valentine.
Oh, thanks, Mrs. Renwick.
This is certainly an unusual house you have. Oh, George, look. A real suit of armor.
Not my size.
Miss Brooks, it isn't a house. It's a castle. You should join my staff on dusting days. You'd find out. He built it on the ruins of some Spanish grandee's old fortress. That's why it's so English.
What?
Oh, don't mind me. You live out here on the ocean, buried in the Middle Ages, and about that far from civilization, with nobody to talk to but King Arthur and all those...
There seem to be plenty of people here now.
Visiting day, Thursday. My husband is a frustrated professor, and so the curious come in to track up the floors and pretend they're interested in his lectures.
Wait! There's a little man standing there. I'm sure he was. Short, tattered old coat. Right in there, behind you.
I didn't see him.
He was there. I'm sure he was. All of you, I'm sorry the tour is over. Excuse me, but the visiting hour is done. It's the hour when we lock the castle gate. I am nervous. This little strange man, he haunts me. But why? Why? And where did he disappear, Mr. Valentine? How?
Look, Mr. Renwick, I think you'd better start at the beginning and
You
tell
met
us...
my wife. She's sarcastic and complains, but we really get along quite well together. You've seen my house, my castle. It's strange. And you say I'm eccentric. Of course I am. The antiquarian. The man who ran away from the present.
So we see.
Miss Brooks. I think what I'm trying to tell you first is that despite all this worship of the past, the Middle Ages, I'm not crazy. A man with a love, yes. A man to be laughed at, no.
Nobody's laughing, Mr. Renwick. But this dagger
Now,
you talk
here's
about...
what happened. This is a very peaceful place, actually. My only regret is the lack of interest shown by other people in the gray, dusty part of the history that's my specialty. So you can imagine my reaction about 2 months ago when a man, one of the usual Thursday visitors, spoke up and corrected me on a point of English history, pre-Norman, of course. Well, I investigated. The man was quite correct.
That's the same little tattered man?
Yes, yes. And when he showed up again the following Thursday, I complimented him. He only shrugged his shoulders. Went off snooping around some more, looking at everything. That's it. He only looks. He seems to want to study over everything I have, my entire collection.
Wait a minute, hold it a second, will you please? I did a little research myself. You have right here in your house several $100,000 worth of gems, early bracelets, crowns, that sort of
Mr.
stuff.
Valentine, I may be eccentric, but I'm no fool. The gem collection is not in the house. It's in the keep. Yes, real authentic stone walls over a dungeon, that sort of thing. But guarded by my own private guards, and they use the latest locks and latest guns, I assure you. Bonded men who've been with me for years, listed with the police so that not even they could get away with anything. No, it's not theft I'm afraid of.
But the dagger was stolen?
Yes, from this case, right here. But it's the man I'm afraid of, Mr. Valentine. You see, he came back and came back. The guards had several run-ins with him for trespassing. But he always had an excuse. Then finally one day he asked me for a job. The day I wrote you.
A job doing what?
Lecturing. He wanted to take my place as guide. Imagine. Well, his knowledge is sufficient. But of course I refused. But I was embarrassed. He has strange eyes. That's when I felt I might give him a gift. Perhaps get rid of him once and for all.
Only instead he handed you the dagger with blood on it.
I've never seen a man look so offended and angry, but only in his eyes. He said he belonged here. Here, I locked the dagger up in this cabinet. It's right.
It's empty.
Well, looks like he got it again, huh? You're sure this is where you...
Yes, I locked it up myself. But I'm not surprised. No. Why should I be surprised? He said I had gone too far. I had turned him out. I had collected too many treasures of the past. I've lived to regret it.
Hey, wait a minute. What kind of a thing is this?
Mr. Valentine, I think I expected this. That it would disappear again.
You did?
I don't know what compelled me. Yesterday, as he left, I spoke one word. I said, Merlin.
You said what?
Merlin. You heard me. I called him that, and he smiled.
Oh, you mean Merlin, like the sorcerer at King Arthur's court?
Stop looking at me that way, both of you. We don't know what's possible. We haven't even scratched the surface of the Middle Ages, the superstitions, the beliefs. Of course, I don't think he's really Merlin, but he follows me. He watches me. Why? He's always here. Why? And his peculiar knowledge. Why? How? I tell you, it's right from the outset.
Keep your shirt on, boss. We got him.
What?
Yeah, we got him, I tell you. The little squirt. Nobody in the crowd here today even noticed. He's in the town jail.
Jail?
Just a two-bit like finger boy, that's all he is. So cool off. It's all over. You Valentine?
Yeah, that's right.
Joe's my chief guard. But Joe, you shouldn't have...
He was in the crowd again, boss. You seen him. But he lifted one of them old salt shakers off of the mantle. And both of my boys seen that. Yeah. Pretty neat, huh? 6 months for theft. That'll keep Merlino out of your hair.
What?
Huh?
What did you call him?
Merlino. Says he's a member of the Magicians Union. How's that one for laughs? Oh, the boss is a nervous Nellie, that's all, Miss Brooks.
So I gather.
Here, only a couple of cells down this way. Nice to work for, you understand, but a little on the crackpot
This
side.
Merlino seems to have him scared pretty badly.
I don't know why the boss bothered you, though, Mr. Valentine. If I couldn't handle a guy like him with both hands tied behind my
Okay. I just want to talk to this guy.
Yeah, well, yeah. Here he is. This is where he was locked. He was
Is that
locked.
so? I don't see anybody.
Now, Joe, cool off.
Yeah.
I didn't turn him loose, I tell you. I don't know how he could get out.
Oh, a great sheriff you are.
Joe, let me ask the question.
No, neither one of you are going to. I was home eating supper. You bring a man down here for me to lock up without charges or evidence. Don't blame me if he...
Without what?
Without evidence, he said.
Huh? What?
Yeah, here's Merlino now. Well, what's all the lather about? I guess I forgot to lock that cell door on you, huh?
No, you locked it. But I was hungry myself. I'm just on my way back.
Yeah, but if the sheriff locked the cell, how in the name of...
Please, young man. I just walked out. I'm a magician.
Is that so? Well, this time...
Lay off, Joe. Cut it out. Sheriff, you said there was no evidence. Clean that up, will you?
Well, we searched him when he got here. So did the guards. Just waiting to tell you, Joe. There wasn't any salt shaker on this guy.
What? But I seen him take it myself.
We searched, I tell you. There wasn't.
Of course, it's none of my business. I'm just a visitor in your town. Live at the boarding house, as I told you. Suppose I have been kind of a pest to Mr. Renwick. But if you ask me, Sheriff, if anyone is stealing out there, well, his guard here, he's the one I think you should search.
What? Why, you little half...
Hold it, Joe, easy.
What?
Oh, what's the matter?
What? Salt shaker. In my pocket.
All right, sleight of hand, artist.
But I haven't been near him.
That's right, Valentine. He hasn't. Not even bringing him in.
I told the boss I'd get rid of you. I will. I'll show you some magic
Let go, no, stop it. No, you'll be sorry.
Cut it out, Joe.
You'll be sorry. Now, stop it.
I'll put rabbits in your hat. You can...
Cut it out. Cut it out. I'm the sheriff around here. Now beat it, all of you. Magicians, private cops. Go on, get out. Get out of my hair. Well, there's your teletype, Mr. Valentine. I guess I better run the little guy out of town for him, but I kind of hate to. Landlady says he's real nice.
Depends on who you talk to, doesn't it? You don't suppose Mr. Renwick and his guards are trying to frame him for something, do you?
They're all crazy out there for my money.
Yeah, Chicago says he served a sentence once, small-time theft.
He didn't steal today, I'm sure of that.
They say he worked carnivals in the Midwest for a while.
Why is he here? Oh, George, it's getting late.
Yeah, come on.
You want me to go back out to the house with you?
Well, if he wouldn't just shrug his shoulders and walk off like that, it's Merlino I'd like to talk to.
Sheriff! Mr. Valentine, Sheriff!
Mr. Renwick!
What's the matter? What's happened?
He got it. He got every bit. It's gone.
What's gone? Hey, stop shaking. What are you
The
talking
gem collection, the bracelets, jewelry. Merlino's taken everything.
Oh, brother. I thought that place was impregnable.
So did I. But not against a man like him. I told you.
Take it easy, will you? There's nothing supernatural about...
Yeah, the gems were off in that crazy stone place you call the Keep, weren't they?
He said I owned too many things from the past. He warned me I should have...
All right. Get back in the car. Come on, let's go. We'll find out what happened, and it won't be magic either.
Won't it? Valentine, I know how he managed it. My wife saw from her room upstairs, over the wall in the moonlight. Yes, I think we found that dagger again, too.
What?
She saw it and came running and screaming. Joe's body, up there, in the moonlight, with the medieval dagger in it.
You are listening to Let George Do It. Our adventure will continue in just a moment.
November 6, 1950, Let George Do It on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
You know, a lot of times you have to choose between something high quality or something that saves you money. But if you can get both, why not? Especially when it comes to health care. And that's MediShare. You get both. The typical family saves $500 a month switching to MediShare. And that's huge, but it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The customer satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. It's because MediShare works. It's been around for more than a quarter century, and members have shared more than $3 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge PPO network, so yeah, really, you could save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. If you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. Here is the number you need. Call 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE. 833-34-BIBLE.
Let George Do It aired on the west coast of the United States under the sponsorship of Standard Oil. However, the show also aired in the East on WOR through edited transcriptions of the original shows. And that's kind of what you're hearing, and thank goodness for some collectors who've been able to find these shows, and we appreciate them so much. Let George Do It, November 6, 1950 on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
Act 2, George Valentine. A man named Merlino, just a small-time magician, a smiling, limping little man who says he doesn't want to cause anyone any trouble. But he warned Mr. Renwick that the millionaire had collected too many valuable mementos of the past. Now, the most valuable ones have disappeared, and he warned the hot-headed guard named Joe not to try anything rough with him. But Joe did, and now the method of theft has been explained, for Mrs. Renwick has seen Joe's body. Joe has been stabbed.
It was just as plain as daylight. I went up to my room. I looked out. He was there on the roof.
Oh, what good does a guard do up on a roof, Mr. Renwick?
But the iron door down there is always kept locked.
I came running to find you as fast as I
George,
could.
how could Merlino get through the door and up here to stab the guard?
How does Merlin do anything?
The name's Merlino, Buster. Calm down, will you? Just show me where this body is.
It's right out there. You can see it.
All right, Mrs. Renwick. Get out of the way, please. Let me get through.
There. It's right. Oh.
Yeah. I don't see a body.
It was. I could see. I'm not lying. And the knife in the moonlight.
Disappeared. I'm not surprised. Merlin could easily...
Oh, stay where you are, all of you, will you? Pretty clumsy magic, I'd say. Here's the knife right here.
What? Let me see.
Stay where you are, will you? Yeah. Joe's body's disappeared, all right. But it must have been a hasty job. A good sorcerer would have wiped up the blood.
Yes, Valentine, the blood's Joe's, all right. Doctor says he's sure. There was a record of Joe's type in the files.
Okay, come on.
But where, George? Why would anyone move a body
Get
after
rid of the evidence, Miss Brooks.
But the knife was left behind.
No fingerprints, no nothing.
Hey, Mr. Renwick, come here, will you?
What is it?
My men are going to start searching your whole place.
They won't find anything.
Yeah, that fog coming in off the ocean, I know.
Look, Mr. Renwick, I think it's about time you and I stopped this silly, superstitious...
Mr. Valentine, I don't want to sound like a fool. I don't want to believe such things. I don't.
But you think we'll never find the body and we'll never find Merlino again?
I know you won't. I can't help knowing it. He disappears, he makes things disappear. I know how it sounds, but he got what he came for. He carried out his threats.
You've been in the Middle Ages too long for... Look out, Angel.
Well, I'll be...
Hello there. Did someone call me? Call Merlina?
I said answer my questions.
Please, gentlemen. I don't know anything about bodies. Out of my line.
Oh, for Pete's sake, you admitted you were around here, didn't you?
Of course. There are things here I'd like to steal, but not tonight. No, really, I haven't done anything. You've searched me, haven't you? No keys, no jewels. Ask my landlady. I was with her at the time this poor man was killed. I'm afraid if I did it, I've committed a perfect crime.
Hey, Sheriff! Sheriff, come here!
Well, spot of blood on the garage floor.
Yeah, and tire tracks.
Renwick says this is where they kept that farm truck.
Only now it's gone.
Where's Merlino, Sheriff?
He's taken care of, don't worry.
The perfect crime, step one. Come on, let's go. Sure. Just ditched it in the woods, huh? Not so far from the house either, in a straight line.
Now, this is the truck, all right.
Here's the flashlight, George.
Okay, let me do this.
Yeah. More blood, all right.
What?
Couple of little spots.
Yeah, only no body.
No, but there's room for it to have been carried there, right?
Sure. So from here we move on foot, backwards, back the way this truck came.
It's perfect, all right.
Oh, yeah, sure. There are the tracks from the road.
But they're in sand. I can't prove they're Merlinos.
Of course not. But they're deep. He was carrying something. They don't come back, so he probably walked back on the rocks. That's the fast way.
And this is the only place you can get down to the beach easily from the road, too. To this cove. Deep. Heavy tides. The perfect place, all right.
To carry a body, to throw it in the ocean.
It's a hard job to convict a man of murder without a body.
Well, you'll find other evidence. Merlino can't
Oh,
just...
yes, he can, Angel. Because what other evidence?
He even hinted at an alibi. Didn't you catch that?
Everything he's done is practically a confession. But you don't think we'll find fingerprints in that truck, do you?
But if he hid the things he stole somewhere around there,
You
then...
don't think we'll ever find them either, do you?
He's not supernatural.
I don't know what he is. Oh, come on. It's practically dawn. Let's go back. Maybe we can shake it out of him. A little better than my jail, huh? Out of the original old Spanish place. Regular dungeon for the Inquisition.
You have to climb down here now. I gave the sheriff my key when he locked him up, Mr. Valentine.
Damp earth floors. I hope he's got pneumonia by this time.
Here, I'll reach that. You seem a little calmer, Mr. Renwick.
I've been with the sheriff's men all night. Yes, I've about decided your perfect crime theory is correct.
Solid iron door. Oh, wait till you see the walls. Solid rock all the way around the cell. 6 feet thick and no windows.
Merlino,
Yeah, he's done it again. He's gone.
It's impossible. Everything he's done is impossible. A human being couldn't get out of there.
I had the only key myself. Valentine,
He's a cripple. He couldn't run very fast. Come on, let's get down to the beach before Merlin climbs back into the Middle Ages.
From November 6, 1950, Let George Do It on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. The conclusion follows these important words from your favorite station. Thank you for tuning in to Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox here on your favorite station. The conclusion of Let George Do It, November 6th, 1950.
There he is, George.
Yeah, he's running.
Some cripple. Fakes everything, doesn't he?
Well, he's got a big head start tearing down the sand there.
In this fog?
George.
Lord, where is he?
He was at the end of the cove
He
there.
disappeared right into the fog and the water.
Come on, run. No, along the road, this way.
But Valentine...
Sure, Merlin's a ghost, all right. What's beyond this cove? Another one, isn't there?
Well, sure, you can't see it from above. Just a couple of 100 yards.
Better load your gun, then. This is no ghost we're after now.
Hey, there's a boat there, on the beach.
Yeah, a little tiny one. Think one man could carry that, Sheriff?
Sure, easy.
So back at the other place, those heavy tracks could be made by a man carrying a boat instead of a body, huh?
George, what on earth are you driving at?
Brooksie, there hasn't been a single bit of magic performed tonight. It's all been illusion. Things are impossible. Okay, I believe it. They are impossible. You just turn the checkerboard around, look at the black squares instead of white.
Watch it. This is rock. You might slip.
George, now you're crazy.
Almost, but not quite. Now think back, Brooksie. Everything Merlin has done. Steal a dagger, plant a salt cellar on Joe, break loose from jail. Get at Joe on the roof, spill his blood. Then let Joe's body be seen and then make it disappear.
Wait, there he is, coming out of the water.
Sure, of course. He swam around those rocks, that's all.
Stand still, he can't see us. He'll come this way to the boat.
That's right. But I better warn both of you. Don't be too surprised when you see it's Joe himself.
What?
Shh, here he comes.
Hey, grab him! Look out for that gun!
Let go of that!
Oh, no, you don't!
Thanks. Every bit of the loot right there in the boat. Enough crowns for a whole chest.
Sure, for the big king here.
Shut up.
The bright boy who figured it all out. How to rob his boss without having all the bloodhounds in the world after him.
Okay, you got me. So what?
So I want some more. You hired Merlino, didn't you? To put the scare act into your boss. To set himself up as the man of mystery. To brag that he was out to rob him.
But George, the murder, or what Mrs. Renwick thought was one, and the blood.
Oh,
and the
sure, Brooksy. That was the neat part. Joe knew her habits. When she'd be likely to look out and see him lying there playing dead. And he cut his finger, spilled some blood maybe.
Too bad I didn't use yours instead.
Nice little trail of blood, yeah, Joe. So there'd be no doubt in anybody's mind that Joe the guard was dead. Nobody'd look further for the man with the loot. You and Merlino working together. And then he lets himself look like the suspect. But I'll bet in the final pinch, Merlino's alibi would have been perfect, Sheriff. He would have got off the hook, joined up with Bright Eyes here, and Renwick would have thought it was all magic.
I almost did myself.
George, if Joe did all that, well, he could have let Merlino out of that dungeon thing, too. I mean, chief guard, he'd still have a key.
The biggest impossible of all, yeah, sure. Only where's Merlino now? And why let out a guy whose story is all fixed, alibi and everything? And why do you suppose Joe here didn't leave hours ago in his little boat? That must have been the plan.
I don't know where Merlino is. I don't care.
Well, I do. It's the difference between a grand larceny rap and a bigger rap for murder.
What? Now look, friend.
Only reason I can think of Joe sticking around is he liked the jewels all for himself. After all, he was dead. And Merlino could always disappear by
I didn't touch him, I didn't.
It was risky getting down to that dungeon, Joe. But it would have been riskier bringing Merlino outside to kill him.
Oh, no, that's
And of course, that was a quiet place. And nobody would ever think of looking under... Nice dirt floor, wasn't it, Joe?
No, I didn't.
Sheriff, I told you Merlin was a ghost. Maybe we better do some digging there before he puts a haunt on King Arthur's castle.
And there he was, Merlin, buried in the loose dirt in the floor of the castle.
Merlin. The name's Merlino, Brooksie.
Well.
And anyway, the story's all over. Oh, I don't blame you, though. I was always a sucker for that stuff, too. The knights and the charges.
I bet Mr. Renwick isn't, not anymore, I mean. I bet he takes up stamp collecting after this.
Oh, I sell out to the British Museum. Yeah, King Arthur himself. You know, I always imagine myself as more of the Sir Gawain type.
What?
Yeah, well, as a kid, you know how kids are.
George, he was romantic. Gawain was the one who was always rescuing a damsel or making love to some maiden.
Oh, no, not always. He slew dragons. He sat at the round table and... Oh, what's the matter? What do you like?
Oh, round table. Oh, I was just thinking. When it comes to romance, darling, you're more of a square.
Oh, great.
You have just heard A Visit from Merlin, another Let George Do It adventure. Robert Bailey was starred as George Valentine, with Virginia-Gregg as Brooksie. David Victor and Jackson Gillis wrote the story, with music by Eddie Dunstetter. Now, this is yours truly inviting you to another visit with Valentine, when you will again hear what happens when you let George do it.
November 6, 1950, Let George Do It on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, an episode of Speed Gibson of the International Secret Police. This episode of this serial from November 6, 1937.
Speed Gibson of the International Secret Police. Clint and Barney are at Dr. Kingsley's home with Bob Gilmore, meeting there after various and exciting adventures to discuss future plans for capturing the octopus and his gang. Meanwhile, the criminal, knowing that his enemies, with the exception of Li Ying, Hong Kong representative of the International Secret Police, are gathered under one roof, takes steps to destroy them all in one final attack. Accordingly, he sends Quan Wu to the doctor's house to make sure that all is well. Meanwhile, Clint, suspecting something, detains Quan Wu for questioning. At the same time, the octopus, hearing no word from Wu, takes it for granted that all is well and sends his band to the house, saying that he himself will be there to make sure that nothing goes wrong. Meanwhile, the boys discover that the telephone wires have been cut.
Golly, Clint, if the wires have been cut, we'd better tell the police guard in the garden so they can get word to the Hong Kong police chief.
Yes, Speed. First, I want to make sure that Quan Wu can't do any more harm than he's already done. We don't want an octopus gangster roaming around the house at will.
But, Mr. Barlow, I tell you that I know nothing of what you are talking about. When I used the telephone an hour ago, I was able to call out.
We won't argue about that now. There isn't time. If you should be innocent, which I doubt very much, you can easily prove your innocence later. And meanwhile... Oh, say, Barney, you have a pair of handcuffs?
You betcha. And I'm just aching to use them on this guy. Where do you want him?
Take him out and handcuff him to the post at the foot of the stairs. He'll be out of the way there.
Okay. Come on, Quan Woo.
This is an outrage. You shall pay for this.
Good heavens, all this seems like a nightmare.
We're in a bad spot, Dr. Kingsley. We'll come out of it if we don't lose our heads. We have one advantage by keeping Quan Woo with us. I have an idea that he's one of the most important men in the Octopus gang. We might be able to use him as a hostage. Though I doubt it. When it comes to a showdown, the Octopus has always sacrificed anything or anyone to save his own skin.
Anything I can do, Clint?
Oh, yes, Bob. Now, you know where our men are spotted out in the garden, and you also know of the Hong Kong police line outside the garden wall.
Yes?
Well, go out and tell the captain what has happened. Dispatch a man to the chief of police for reserves and plenty of ammunition.
All right, here I go.
And, Bob.
Yes?
Now, watch yourself. There may already be Octopus gangsters in the neighborhood. And come back here as soon as you've warned the police to be on their guard.
You bet, Clint. Don't worry about me.
Oh, Clint, what about Jean?
Yeah, that's the only thing that's really worrying me, Doctor. We might be able to get her out of the house, but I hate to run that risk. With the phone wires cut, there must be Octopus men nearby. No, I think she's safer inside.
Look, here she comes with Barney now.
Look who met me on the stairs while I was anchoring Quan Woo.
Hello, everybody.
Jean, I thought you were in bed.
I was, Daddy, but I couldn't sleep. So I thought I'd come down and listen to you all talk about the octopus some more. Why was Barney handcuffing Mr. Wu to the stair post?
Well, he's one of the Octopus gang, Jean.
Mr. Wu? You mean he knew where Marcia was all the time?
Sure he did.
Now, wait just a minute, Speed. We can't be too sure. But as soon as this present trouble is straightened out, we'll make sure.
What trouble, Clint?
Now, don't bother Clint with questions, honey. You better go back to bed.
Oh, please let me stay down here for a little while, Daddy.
Well, what about it, Clint? Don't you think Jean had better stay upstairs?
Yes, I do. And you see that she gets to her room, will you, Speed?
Okay, Clint. Come on, Jean, and hurry. I've got business down here.
Oh, I wish I could stay down, too.
Oh, I wonder what's keeping Bob. He's had enough time to do what he had to do and get back here.
How about getting out the ammunition while we're waiting? Oh, yes. My gun case is over there. Help yourselves. Lucky you have a hobby of collecting guns, Doc. May come in handy now.
Now, as soon as Bob and Speed return, I think it might be a good idea to turn off the lights in this room, Doctor. And you'd better go up to Jean's room and keep an eye on her, too. But, go armed.
Do you think the Octopus is really planning an attack on this house, Clint?
Looks that way. But they'll have to come through the garden, and what with Bob warning the police guard and us waiting here in the dark, we'll be ready for them.
Taken care of the police guard very ably. Now my men are stationed around Dr. Kingsley's house instead of the police, eh?
Yes, master.
Good. Now here we are at the chimney of the house. I press this nail, and behold. Quiet. Make no noise. We do not want Barlow and the others to become suspicious.
Are you sure Quan Wu is out of the house, master?
By this time, yes.
But you, master... You think it wise to risk coming here in person?
I risk nothing new. I am enjoying this opportunity of directing the attack in person. I'm tired of sitting in my headquarters talking to my men over a microphone. No one can identify me so long as I wear this mask. I'm safe. It is you who run the risk. See that you do not fail in the attack.
We shall not fail, master.
Be careful. Someone is coming. I'm going to stay out of sight. Whoever it is, receive him as though you are a member of the police. Then use your blackjack on him so that he cannot give the alarm.
Very well, master.
Hello. Where's your captain of police?
I am the captain.
Oh, I'm Bob Gilmore of the secret police. Clint Barlow asked me to tell you that... Hey, wait a minute. You're not the man who was captain when we came in.
All is well, master. The intruder is unconscious.
Good work, Lou. Good work. So this is Bob Gilmore. But we have no time to waste on him. Quick, into the secret passage with you all. I shall wait here at the entrance.
It will not take us long to accomplish our mission, Master.
Remember, this passage comes out at the head of the stairs. Govern your actions accordingly. Do not give the secret police or anyone else in the house a chance.
No, Master. Come in. Follow me.
Please stay up here with me, Speed. I'm scared.
No, I've got to go downstairs and help Clint and Barney, Jean. Your dad will probably be up to stay with you.
But I don't want to stay alone. Can I go down with you and tell Daddy to come right up with me?
Now, what's the sense of that? We just got up here, now you want to turn around and go back again.
Well, I'm scared. Knowing that Mr. Wu is an octopus gangster kind of frightens me.
Oh, all right. Come on. But if I'd known you were going to come right down again, I wouldn't have gone to the trouble of bringing you upstairs.
I'm sorry, Speed.
Well, I guess girls are different than fellas at that. Come along.
Please tell me what you're expecting to happen.
Nope, can't do that. That's official business.
Well, I'm almost in the secret police. I've been in so many adventures with you.
No, you're not. It isn't our fault you were in those adventures. You just happened to come along at the wrong time. It's getting so every time I see you, I expect something to happen.
Don't talk so loud.
Well, why not?
You're almost at the head of the stairs, and you don't want Mr. Wu to hear what you're saying, do you?
Don't know why not. But look, they've turned the lights out downstairs. We'd better do the same up here. Where do you turn them off?
Right at the head of the stairs, Speed. For the hall lights, anyhow. But how can we see to get down, then?
I got my flashlight with me. Clint must have wanted those lights out for a good reason, so I'll... Hey, listen.
What's that noise?
Sounds like somebody's on the other side of this wall.
They couldn't be.
Well, I don't know. Look, that panel's moving. Quick, turn out the lights, Jean, and then get back out of the way.
Oh, dear. Can you see anything in this darkness?
Can just make out shapes. Keep quiet now. The panel's opening.
All right now. All of you, come on out, down the stairs. Something has gone wrong. All the lights are off. But we must follow the octopus orders just the same.
Octopus gang.
And they're going down the stairs after Clint and Barney.
Oh, what do we do?
Quan Wu's handcuffed down at the foot of the stairs. He'll tell them what's happened, and also tell them that I came up here with you. Some of them will be back looking for us.
Oh.
Now, don't get excited. Let me think. I've got to get down there to warn Clint. But how? The octopus gang is blocking the stairs and the landing. Now, I've got it. I'll go out through the secret passage.
Oh, no, Speed. You can't. You may meet some more of the gang in the passage.
Don't think so, Jean. Think they've all gone downstairs. It'll take them a time to get located and talk with Quan Wu. That'll give me time to get down there and warn Clint in the library. Do you know anything about this passage, Jean?
No, I didn't even know it was here.
You'd better come with me. I think it'll be safer than leaving you alone in your room.
Oh, yes. Do you think Quan Wu saw us up here before we turned the lights out?
Not a chance. Come on now. Let's get through that panel. And watch your step. Don't trip or make any noise that'll give us away.
No. Go ahead, I'm following.
Okay, I'm through. Now I'll help you.
All right. Go ahead.
We have to go down steps. Watch yourself. As soon as we get down a little, I'll use my flashlight.
This is what we heard on the other side of the wall.
Yeah. Here's some light now. We can hurry faster. All right, now we're on level ground. Come on, let's run, Jean. We haven't got much time.
All right, but don't let go of my hand.
Oh, I won't.
This passage certainly twists and turns a lot.
Let's go around the rooms on the lower floor. Be as quiet as you can, Jean. Don't want them to hear us.
Oh, no. I hope we're in time to tell Clint what's happened.
The air's getting cooler. We must be getting near the end of the passage. And I guess it leads outside. Maybe into your garden.
I hope so. We can just call into the library windows then.
Oh, what's worrying me is how did that octopus gang get past the police guards outside and inside the garden in the first place?
Maybe there's a secret tunnel leading into the garden.
Either that or they've surprised them all and slugged them. Sure hope not.
Look, there's the end of the passage.
Yeah. Quick now. Let's get out and...
Oh, what's that man in the black mask?
Get behind me, Jean. Are you the octopus?
Yes, Speed Gibson. I am the octopus. I've been wanting to meet you for a long time. And now you have come to me. Just as my men have gone to Clint, Barney, and Dr. Kingley to end their careers. Clint Barlow has always wanted to meet me face to face. Now, he shall.
So many great voices in this old series. Elliot Lewis was involved in the series. Also, Howard McNear, Uncle Clint Barlow. Also, Barney Dunlap, played by John Gibson. And The Octopus, Gail Gordon. You gotta love it. Speed Gibson from the International Secret Police, October 6, 1937, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Thank you for making us a part of your day. Would you thank this station, support their advertisers? It's their kindness and courtesy that allows us to be with you each and every time we roll around here on your favorite station. Now, if you miss a day, you do not have to miss a single episode. All of our shows are available on demand at classicradio.stream. That is classicradio.stream. You can stream our shows on demand, learn more about classic radio collecting. You can find our social media links there. You can find lists of places that our shows are available for download. You can contact me directly, and even better, you can buy me a coffee. Many of these old-time radio shows are being restored by collectors, and many are being discovered all the time. Our good friend Ted over at RadioMemories.com is doing it. He supplies us with a lot of shows. Some we have to purchase, and we hope that you will help us in purchasing these rare shows to bring to you here by your donations through Buy Me a Coffee. That all is at classicradio.stream. Classicradio.stream. Have yourself a great day. Tell all your friends the great radio shows are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite station.